Welcome back to the old driver versus the new driver. Today we got something a little different. So Ping, which is a 2-year cycle,
right?
3 models back. Everyone else we've done this with so far, 3 models back is 3 years.
Right.
We're at 6 years of technology, so we're expecting big things.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. There's big changes.
Yep. G440, and we're doing the Max version. G440 Max is actually just their what we call the core model, the one that sits in the center, and we are putting it head to head with the G410 Plus. 10.5 degree models, and we get a lot of feedback, and I encourage that again in this video. Drop in the comments what you want to see, what you think about the test. Are you going to be upgrading to the G440? But we also get comments on the test. So the test that we're going to see back of house that Dr. Mace has verified the data is 100 miles an hour, 2 degrees up, and we've hit this one 1 inch off center, heel and toe. The test we're going to do on camera for you is for you slower speed guys.
Right.
It's a driver. Ping are notorious for forgiveness and entry to the game, breaking down those barriers. So we're going to put it at 80 miles an hour, and we're going to hit up on it a couple of degrees and see what happens. Okay. Your thoughts on the 80 mile an hour test?
You obviously, as you go shorter in distance, you don't see as much dispersion right and left, right? So everything gets a little tighter. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people swing 80 miles an hour, so why not?
Yeah. Okay, so let's do it. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to hit the G410 Plus to start us off from the center, 80 miles an hour, 2 degrees up.
Well, that's on a rope.
Can't even see the track in the backside of it.
No, it's right down the line.
Okay, 117 miles an hour, ball speed, 2300, let's call it. Tilt axis was 0. Can't argue there.
Right.
13.5 degrees of launch. So 180 yards carry. It's pretty interesting for those people out there at that 80 miles an hour to know if you hit up on a couple of degrees and you hit it right in the screws, about 180 yards through the air is the good result.
Yep.
Okay, let's move it a whole inch towards the toe and see what we get. A little bit of gear effect.
Yeah. Started right, obviously.
We lost about 2 miles an hour of ball speed out of the toe there. We did get the draw tilt, similar launch, similar spin, and we lost about 6 yards.
It's not bad. It's an inch off center, though. I mean, that's a long way.
Yeah.
Right?
And we know toe should be a bit easy, like better to hit out of the toe than the heel, right?
The heel's not going to be as good.
Okay, so now we're going to go 2 inches across the face into the heel. For those of you who don't watch all of our tests, what we're doing is we're testing the head parameter. We've taken the shaft out of account. The same swing characteristics. The shaft is just our CoolClubs Mitsubishi Silver. It's built for this speed. It's a slower, it's a regular flex, lightweight.
And they're super consistent. We measure them all, so they're all identical. So comparing apples to apples, at least.
And when we test the G440 in this same test, we're literally going to snap the head on the same shaft.
Yeah, exactly.
It's apples for apples.
Yeah, a little more gear effect on this side.
All right, a lot more, really.
Yeah.
Wow. And look at that ball speed loss. From the center, that's a 7 mile an hour loss.
Yeah, and the heel is obviously a couple things going on there when you hit on the heel. First of all, obviously you've got less mass behind it, right? But it also is further away from the center, so actually the club head speed goes down a little bit too. So heel just doesn't do good things.
No.
It definitely makes it a little more difficult to hit.
Yeah, we had a bunch of fade tilt on it, 13 degrees of fade tilt. Launch was in a decent place. Spin actually didn't gear up. Sometimes the heel spins a lot. And then we're 20 yards down from our center hit. Glenn, let's just take a little look at the mini map so everyone can get an understanding of what that G410 does as an overall in this 80 mile an hour test at 2 degrees up. It's actually not a bad shot.
No, I mean, they're only like, a couple of yards left and, 10 yards right on the toe, which isn't bad.
Okay.
But you lost some distance, especially in the heel, which you can't expect to see.
So this isn't the only test we're doing. We're going to hang around and watch the 100 mile an hour results, full analysed data by Dr. Tom Mace. Right. Let's jump in and hit the G440, the brand new version, 3 models, 6 years ahead on this 80 mile an hour test. Very similar ball speed, a hair higher spin in this case. Tilt axis was a little to the right. Launch in the same spot, carry identical.
Yep.
Like you said, lower speed, we're not going to see any big shifts here.
Right.
Okay, inch across to the toe, Glenn. Come back.
It's trying.
It did.
It did.
Little less ball speed drop there, 170, so 115 on the nose. Good tilt. Little higher launch, little higher spin, 175, so it lost
4.5 yards.
4.5 yards again, so very similar. Almost
not
identical.
yeah, almost exactly the same.
Yeah.
Well, the toes, that's relatively easy to,
fix up.
yeah. Heel is where I think you'd see an improvement.
Yeah, well, let's see.
We'll see, right?
2 inches across.
There it comes. Tell you what, the gear effect in the heel is pretty substantial.
Yeah, he got
It gets it all the way back to
all the
square.
way back to square there.
Yep.
Same kind of ball speed lost, 6 and a bit miles an hour. Bunch of tilt axis, launched
Lost a
about.
ton of distance.
So what do we have? 180 to 23 yards.
Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at the mini map, Glenn, and see what we can see. Okay, so if you take this for what it is, the 410 is maybe a little better in the heel at that lower speed, and other than the 440 gets you back to your center line,
Right.
but the 410 gave you a couple extra yards out of the heel. Other than that, it's kind of a wash across the board. Speed, drop-offs, spins about the same.
Yeah, 80
carries
miles
about
an
the
hour,
same.
though, you're not going to see that much, so
Yeah,
that's part of it.
yeah. Okay, well, what do you want, numbers or the graphs?
I'll take the numbers.
Okay, so let's take a look at this higher, many more shots taken. Dr. Tom Mace verifies the data for it and graphs it for us. We're going to compare the 440 to the 410 plus, 100 mile an hour, 2 degrees up, 0 face, 0 path.
Yeah, so we're looking at these numbers and stuff. Obviously, the lie angle's changed. It's more up right now.
Yep.
We're kind of seeing that trend. We're seeing all the newer drivers have a bigger variance in the lie angle. So you're using that a lot more to create more draw and fade.
Yep.
You'll see the LS versions, a lot of them being, 56, 55, 54 even.
Yep.
And the upright ones being almost close to 60.
Yeah, the G440 is nearly 60 degrees.
Right.
In the
And there's a
model.
couple even more than that. I think Cobra's even more than that.
True.
So you definitely see a bigger range there. So they basically have made this a little more upright, which is a little more draw bias. They actually increased the MOI by about 200 points.
Yep.
So they've done a little bit there, which is good. The CG depth is actually 1.25, so it's actually a little further back, which normally you would say that further back is going to hurt your ball speed and a few other things, but it doesn't seem to be.
Right.
So that would be a counter to what would be helpful. Ball speed's up about a half a mile an hour.
Over that 100 miles an hour, again,
Right.
the faster you get, the more
Yep.
you get.
And you see more. Launch angle, not a lot different. It's a little bit lower, but not much.
Yeah.
And you'd obviously think a little higher would be with a deeper CG, but it's close. Spin rate, they've dropped the spin rate almost 400 RPMs. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And especially, that's substantial. And center carry, obviously, I don't really look at the distances so much. I mean, the new one's showing it's 3-4 yards longer. But, as you dial it in, it's probably closer to a couple of yards. The tilt axis is different too. One of the things you fight with these forgiving drivers for years and years is as you make them more forgiving and increase the MOI, it tends to get more fade biased. The further back the CG gets and the further away from the shaft it is, the harder it is to close it up too.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't see with a robot, because a robot's going to square up exactly the same.
We tell
pretty
it to.
much. Yeah, we tell it to. So they've done a lot of good things here. I mean, some of these things would offset and make it worse, and every single one of those is improved.
Yeah.
So that's difficult to do.
And we say, the distances and everything, but this is the first driver that we've seen, and granted, it's a 6-year jump, that we think that even though CG's gone back, MOI's gone up, everything you just said, there is a ball speed gain and a launch and spin characteristic change that's going to net out to be a distance.
Right.
And now we look at the graphs and you can see what's happened. So most of the other stuff, we looked at the ellipse area as a kind of a total figure. This one is kind of a wash because the ellipse area is 422 total yards versus 425, so
Right.
it's nothing crazy. But if you look at the consistency, so the ellipse size of the heel and the toe, so the green and the yellow, in the 440, different world. Like so much more consistent out of
Definitely
the
tighter.
area. Yeah.
So if you're hitting that in that spot, whether it's a half-inch toe or a heel or wherever the mishits are, when you hit it there, it goes in a much smaller circle.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what they've done, obviously in the center, it's pretty easy to do, but when you start hitting off center, to keep them going exactly the same place is pretty impressive.
Yeah, consistency.
Yep.
Even your mishits are going to be more consistent.
Right.
And we actually seen a change here. And I don't know if you can see this on the screen, it's quite tough, but if you look at the 410 chart, which is on the right-hand side, the graph there, you can see the black dots, which are the same shots from the 440. You can see how much further up they are from the center and the toe shots at 100 miles an hour. You put a bit of speed on this, not that this driver's necessarily aimed at anyone really much high speed, but it can handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. No question
handle
about that. Yeah, and there's guys on the tour playing the max drivers. So I mean, it's not like the LS versions. A lot of them where you really wouldn't want your low speed players playing them.
Yeah.
You know, some of these more forgiving ones, as long as the spin rate's not too high, you know, more speed the better. Why not? I mean, they're on tour. I mean, people are using these things.
Yeah.
Even, you know, a lot of the tailmates too. They're using the mid one, not the small one. Yeah. So, you know, there's some advantages to that.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. If you're 80 miles an hour, you're not going to see a lot of change, but it's a fitting story at that point. It's to dial in, absolutely milk your speed, because you haven't got a lot of it, unfortunately, at this point.
Yeah.
But we have seen the gains at that higher speed. Anything over 100 miles an hour, we're going to see even tighter dispersion, even more distance. It's a total no-brainer. And again, I tell the same story. This is a trade-in story. You've got a G410 Plus and you want to get to the G440, head to a Worldwide Golf retail location, trade in that G410 for the performance gains that you just saw in this test, and get yourself into a G440, having more fun on the golf course.
Yeah, and the one thing I would say that the big difference I see here is, you know, you've got the older version is pretty fade biased.
That's fair. Yep.
And no longer is that the case. So they've increased the MOI, they've increased the, you know, moved the CG back, all those things which will make it worse and harder to hit, but it's not. Yep. It's less fade bias, which is a great thing for most golfers.
Especially in this range.
Right.
Ping are engineers and we love their fitting concept. It works great with what we do at CoolClubs.
Yep.
It helps our fitters give you the best results possible in the fitting bay. Head to worldwidegolf.com, book your fit-in, head to coolclubs.com and book your fit-in. We can't wait to see you here. Hit a like and subscribe. Tell us how you thought the video went in the feedback and the comments. We want to see it. Give us ideas for the next test. We look forward to seeing you next time.
Cheers.